How's it going, everybody? It's been a while since I last posted a video. This is LSB with Light Sports Breakdown. Life happens, we all experience stuff, and the road eventually leads us back to where we need to be, and I feel like I need to be back here talking about sports with everyone, and I appreciate everyone that's still here and still watching my journey, and we're going to get back to where we started, and we're going to talk about sports. Obviously, you can see with the Deshaun Watson Clemson jersey and the Ray Lewis jersey and the Ahmad Bradshaw jersey I'm currently wearing, we are going to be talking about football today. Obviously, I haven't been posting that many videos about football. I apologize for that, but we're going to keep doing this and we're going to be talking about football because we're only 4 weeks away from the playoffs. It's crazy. This year's going by really fast in sports. Tonight's actually Tonight and tomorrow, preseason of the NBA has been starting, so that's something else that it's crazy. The season ended a couple of months ago, and now we're back at it. But anyway, I want to talk about the NFL. So we're only 4 weeks away from the playoffs to begin, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the two teams in the NFC that either impressed me the most or I'm least impressed by. One team I'm most impressed, second team I'm least impressed. So we're going to get into it, and like I just mentioned previously, I'm wearing a Giants jersey, so trying to be as non-biased as I can be, but I'm honestly the most impressed team that so far this season is the Giants. They've won their last 4 games. Their most impressive win was against the Seattle Seahawks, basically neutralizing Russell Wilson in the amazing season he's having so far. And DK Metcalf, aka Baby Megatron or Megatron 2.0, held them to like only 80 yards, didn't even score a touchdown, and the defense came up big. They forced a lot of mismatches and they forced Russell Wilson to turn the ball over, and they got fumbles. It was just a good overall win for the Giants, and obviously their 3 other wins were pretty impressive, despite not facing a healthy Bengals team, despite Joe Burrow tearing his ACL, facing the Eagles, who have just been looking lost with Carson Wentz, and now they're starting Jalen Hurts, and then facing the Washington football team, and they've been really doing good. The only thing I also wanted to mention is the Giants honestly could be on a 6 game winning streak because they lost to the Tampa Bay Bucks by only 2 points. They could have potentially won that game. And then they also lost narrowly to the Eagles, 22-21 on October 22nd, a 1 point game. So the Giants could have honestly been on a 6 game winning streak, but didn't happen. They were really close in all these games. And the reason why I'm most impressed with them is because despite them being in a 5-7 record, they're leading the division. The Washington football team has the same record, so it could change. But the Giants have been playing good football, and it's really reassuring to all Giants fans because, in essence, the Giants and Jets have been the laughingstock of NFL teams in the past couple of years. And it just hasn't been a good time ever since the picture of all the wide receivers on the boat, and then the disappointing loss against the Packers in the playoffs. So I really like this team. Obviously, Daniel Jones didn't play in the game. Daniel Jones healthy. I think he's been doing better in his second season in the league. Obviously, Saquon tearing his ACL was a big hit, but Darius Slayton, Everett Ingram, Golden Tate, and Sterling Shepard, and the assistants from Alfred Morris and Devontae Freeman, Wayne Gallman has just been unreal, and the defense has been looking nice. Logan Ryan and Jabril Peppers, just amazing work all around by this team, and I'm just really impressed by them, and hopefully they can keep this up because if I was any other team, I wouldn't want to face these Giants in the playoffs because if you underestimate them, then I think you're honestly going to pay. So just don't underestimate these G men because I think they can do really well in the playoffs if they make it there. There's still 4 weeks left, so anything can happen. I could be completely right. I can be completely wrong. Who knows? But so that was my most impressive, the team I felt was most impressed with. And the team that I'm least impressed with is honestly the Tampa Bay Bucks. But early on, like before the season started, everyone predicted them to be the number one favorite to make it out of the NFC. Obviously, TB12 leaving the Patriots to go to Tampa Bay. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Gronkowski coming out of retirement. Them signing Leonard Fournette. And then later down the line, they end up signing Antonio Brown. This team is sacked. This team is stacked on all fronts of the offense. On paper, they could deal with any team in the league. Their defense is no joke. They've only gotten better. Their cornerbacks are locked down, and their defensive linemen can force the quarterback to make a tough decision with little time, or it'll make him pay and get a sack and potentially a fumble. But the Bucks haven't really been doing so well. They're currently 7-5. They're 2 games back of the Saints, who are 10-3 right now. But the last 2 games, they lost against the Rams and they lost against the defending champion Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And honestly, in both games, similar to the Giants, that when they lost the first 2 games before their win streak, the Patriots only lost by 3 points in both games, and they were in great position to win, and were typically used to Tom Brady taking over in the clutch when the clock is running down and he has the ball in his hands. He makes magic, taking his offense down the field and just demonstrating that greatness that we've been seeing for so many years. And the past 2 times, we just haven't seen it. And it's unfortunate because I think Tom Brady is regressing a little bit this year. A lot of his decision making has been looking suspect. He's been overthrowing the ball or underthrowing it, and the defense has just been reading the pass and been able to intercept the ball. I think he had 2 or 3 interceptions against the Chiefs, and I think he just had equally as bad of a interception ratio against the Rams. So I'm a little concerned for the Bucks, and that's why I'm least impressed with them, because on paper their team is way better than the Saints, but the Saints have been doing better, especially with Drew Brees having like a ruptured lung and like broken ribs, and they're still able to make the team work with Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. Honestly, the Bucks should be, in essence, running away with this division. But I mean, I'm hoping for the best for Drew Brees and the Saints. But I'm hoping in these next 4 games, and the Bucks' schedule for the next 4 games is looking really good. They honestly could win every single game and push their way into the playoffs. But honestly, if they lose maybe 1 or 2, I think it's going to be too far out of reach. There's too many teams that could have a berth in the playoffs, and if their record just isn't good enough, Tom Brady may be looking from home, watching the playoffs rather than being in the playoffs. He's been in the playoffs like every single year, so this would be the first time hasn't been in the playoffs, especially after last year when he threw the pick six with the final seconds of the Titans game. And that basically ended the Tom Brady and Bill Belichick dynasty. So, what else? Team is really good, but they haven't been performing like the team they should be and the potential that they have. And you can't really blame too much on the team as a whole, because it's up to the quarterback to lead your team down the field. And if Tom Brady doesn't perform better, then in essence, it proves that Belichick mattered more than what people were saying, that it was all Tom Brady and not Belichick. So there's a lot of narratives and there's a lot of things that we got to figure out. We got to wait and see. But those were my two teams that I was most impressed by in the NFC. And in my next videos, this is part one, I will be talking about the two teams that I'm most and least impressed by in the AFC. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you stick around to listen to part two. Thank you so much. This has been LSB with Light Sports Breakdown.